All about earnings, and first up on our radar is Sapphire Foods. The company reported a soft quarter, which was expected owing to subdued discretionary spending and also the date shifting of Navratra, which impacted their KFC business. So to get the outlook going forward, we do have Sanjay Purohit, who's the whole-time director and group CFO of the company, joining in to discuss those numbers in detail. Thanks a lot, Mr. Purohit, for joining in. Understandably, the first quarter was weak. Over the last few quarters, we've seen discretionary spends, particularly in dine-in in QSR, being softer. So the question then obviously is, how has recovery in the second quarter so far been, particularly on KFC and at the same time for Pizza Hut as well? Basis what you've seen in the second quarter so far, what is it that you can guide for in terms of same-store sales growth and revenue for the remainder of this year, at least for the India business?
So you're quite right. Overall consumer sentiment continues to be a little subdued. Having said that, we have had a steady quarter. Typically, the April, May, June quarter is better than the Jan, Feb, March quarter. However, KFC in the month of April was impacted because of the shift in Navratra dates. And KFC, because it is 95% non-vegetarian, gets impacted the most amongst all QSR brands. However, May and June have been reasonably decent for KFC, and it continues into July. July, August, September typically again is a low quarter for KFC on account of all the festivals that bunch up together. However, in the April, May, June quarter, on the other two businesses, Pizza Hut, we have seen an improvement in performance. After nearly 6-7 quarters of declining ADS trends, we've seen this quarter we've done much better. And Sri Lanka has started to bounce back. We've delivered 11% same-store sales growth. So I would say steady performance in an overall still very subdued demand environment.
So the question then is, what are you gunning for this year for both KFC and Pizza Hut along with Sri Lanka? We're now somewhere in the middle of year. What are you foreseeing for this year in terms of revenue growth and same-store sales growth?
Nigel, I must confess that we don't hand out quarter or yearly guidances on both revenue as well as profitability. But I would assume that I'm not seeing a dramatic change in the consumer demand environment, and therefore we should continue in the same vein as we have spoken about. We should see an uptick in Pizza Hut, Sri Lanka, and KFC post this quarter. We should start to see a little better momentum.
Okay, all right. Hi, Sanjay. Good morning. This is Nigel on this side. Earlier, it was Mangalam who put that question across to you. I wanted to ask you on Pizza Hut. Growing up, if it was a special occasion only, then it was Pizza Hut. That was the kind of quality that we got when we were growing up. Now, talking about that business, it's struggling a little bit. The SSG was a negative number. The margins as well, contracted. What's the outlook from here on? Do you think the worst is behind and we'll see a recovery? If yes, guide us on both these two factors. How do you see the margins recover over here? And also drop in a word on the store additions for the year on KFC as well as on Pizza Hut.
So first, my apologies to Mangalam. I got your names.
No, that's okay. So long as the viewers get the answers, it doesn't matter who asks them.
Yeah. You're so right, Nigel. Even my growing up memory is of going to a Pizza Hut as a treat. I think over the last couple of years, we must confess and wake up to reality that the brand has lost a bit of its luster. And what we're attempting to do is really revive consumer interest back in the brand. And you would have heard me speak a little earlier. The way to do that is to invest significantly behind product innovation, and then higher levels of advertising and marketing spend, and then back it up with outstanding customer service and operations. We started the journey in March when we launched this quite innovative handheld folded pizza called Melts. And Melts, backed with advertising for the first time, perhaps on television, has enabled us to lift the momentum on the brand. I think this is just the start. This is not going to be a silver bullet, and we've got to be at it for the next 1, 2, 3 years at least. From a store opening perspective, we are on track to double our store count from December 21 at the end of this calendar year. So we are still on track there. On Pizza Hut, we've said we are going to be cautious. In the first half of the calendar year, we've just opened 1 store. Perhaps that's not indicative of the total stores that we will open in the next 1 or 2 quarters. So that's the store guidance.
All right. So we've got the business metrics out of the way. You know, one of the things that the street always worries about for Sapphire Foods is the promoters selling. And that exactly has happened over the last, couple of quarters. If you look at it, right from 2023, where it was close to around 45% stake, now it's come down to 30.8% stake. So the question then is that, are the promoters likely to hold on to this stake? Or with the stake that they have right now, does it open the doors for some other strategic to come in?
So Mangalam, this is the first time in the last perhaps 15 months that I've been asked this question by any of our investors. I thought this was dead and buried. We've got a shareholding structure where our private equity promoters have locked in capital over a long duration of time. Today, roughly that shareholding percentage is about 31%. Most people who have exited have been the private equity people, not part of our promoter cap, who have been with the company for 7, 8 years. They have exited. Right now, we are very, very stable, and perhaps the best shareholder cap table in the industry. So we've got 1/3 the promoters, 1/3 foreign institutional investors, and another third coming from absolutely marquee mutual fund investors, domestic mutual fund investors. So very sorted on that front.
So will it come down but from 31%, or do you think it'll be stable around here?
Yeah, so like I said, and again, this is in the past, the cap table, there is a certain lock-in amount, which is about 25, 26%. I don't think it can ever come down below that.
But that still leaves around 4% of stake to be open to be sold, which is what we are trying to figure out.
Very well.
Okay. All right, Sanjay, we appreciate you joining in and, giving us your inputs about the past quarter. We look forward to, chatting up with you next time around, and hopefully the pizza as well as the KFC business, both of them see some recovery from here on. And we'll have to ask you yet again about that promoter stake, if in case there is no action on that front as well. Thanks a lot for joining in.
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you, Mangalam.
Thanks a lot. Well, for the time being, we'll slip into a short break. You come back, we'll focus on Jindal Stainless to detail their numbers.